Patrick first game
when
back.
They beat him, yeah. But when they beat him too, though, man, I mean, JJ had both his hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
JJ had both his hands.
You're right.
So, I mean, again, anything in the playoffs, man, I think if you're talking about that, I mean, look at it. Fitzpatrick has been around, so it ain't like he's going to be scared at the moment.
Exactly.
And then you got Brandon Marshall. I don't care what nobody says, man.
Ooh.
Quiet as kept. Brandon Marshall has put up 6 years of 100 catches.
Yes.
This dude is going to be in the Hall of Fame.
I think it would
Both
be.
of him.
I think it would
Because
be a
he's
travesty if he's
bipolar, so
not.
both Brandon Marshall's going to be in there.
Exactly. You stupid, yo. You
Let me tell you
stupid.
something, right?
You stupid, dude.
Brandon
I
Marshall
caught that.
do kind of get slept on, like a lot. A lot. He really does get slept on. He really is a premier receiver in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He really is. I mean, he's in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the receivers in the Pro Bowl. I mean, he's that good.
I just think it's like this, man. I think, again, the playoffs this year is going to be fun to watch, man.
Yes.
Just like Seth said earlier, it's more like fantasy than anything. So it's going to be fun to watch. But, I mean, again, my thing with Carolina is always going to be, you know, anytime, and I think we've seen it in all quarterbacks, anytime that a quarterback, again, has that ultimate belief in them, and then their teammates do, it's hard to beat them.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, you look at that Giants game, and I think that was the one moment that we'll all single out and point to, that when they scored, when that camera rolled over to Cam, he said, okay, let's go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's when I seen, like I said, when I seen Cam bring his team to win, because, you know, a lot of people always say, oh, well, the kicker won that game. But as a quarterback, you have to get your kicker in that position to win the game. And that's what he did.
Oh, he gave him a chip shot. He gave him
exactly.
Even though he's a good kicker.
He could have scored. If Cam wanted to,
if he wanted to,
scored.
he could have scored.
But
yeah, definitely.
But he said, you know what? Let me just get him down here and let me just do my thing. Let's win this and go home and be happy. And that's what he did. So that's what I seen, like Cam, like, yo, this is a grown man, and this is what you call perseverance right here. So
yeah,
but
yeah, it's something, man. So I can't wait to see it, man.
Yeah,
like T.O. said, get your popcorn ready.
T.O.
No doubt.
Wasn't he trying to come back too? Wasn't T.O. trying to make a little comeback?
He was.
Listen, if T.O. come back, then I'm calling Brett coming back. That's all I'm saying, man. T.O., leave it alone, man. I know you got 18 baby mamas, but leave it alone. That ain't our fault. That's your fault.
He trying to make some type of money, man. He trying to do something with his life.
Got to.
He trying to. So we going to jump into your sport, basketball. We're going to jump into your basketball. But before we start, you know, so what high school did you go to?
I went to Immaculate Conception High School in Montclair, New Jersey.
Didn't you play with like a famous baller at one point in your high school career?
Yeah. Actually, we played against a whole lot of them, but AAU, I played with Tim Thomas. So Tim Thomas is that guy.
So
that was a good AAU life I had, man. That was the easiest time I ever had in basketball. You just throw it to that dude and say somebody getting dunked on. That's it.
So
then when they talk junk, I don't care. I got Tim on my team. What?
So if y'all don't know, Deshaun, before Kyle Elamine, he was the Kyle Elamine of his day, man. Big dude, handle.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Don't
let the chubby face fool you.
He still got it. I'll be seeing him do a little 1-2, a little 1-2. So, man. So listen, I'm a LeBron fan. I love LeBron, but let me tell you what though. That dude Steph. That boy good.
Yo.
That boy every good. Time I think of Steph, I think of Mark Jackson. I just go, Mama, there goes that man.
but don't the other thoughts just cross your mind too? Like, I don't know about y'all, but I think of it like this. I'm like, I feel so bad for Mark Jackson, man.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Jackson
all the time.
Don't get the credit that he deserves for what that boy has become. Yes. What that team has become.
No doubt.
And not only that,
you know what I'm saying?
But Steve Kerr isn't even coaching. And they got Luke Walton and Mark Jackson. That could be his spot.
Let me tell you something. What it was with Mark Jackson was that they felt a lot of things happened when Mark Jackson got fired from Golden State. The main thing was they didn't like that Mark Jackson was not a company man.
Mm-hmm.
So he felt like y'all don't need to be at practice. Y'all in the office. Y'all don't need to come in my gym. This is where I'm the boss at. They didn't feel that. And Kerr is more of a, friendlier. He used to be in the front office. So he'll let them be around and do whatever they want. And they, they like that whole thing about him.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
I don't knock Steve Kerr for that, but I do knock the organization for firing a man that brung you from obscurity.
Yes.
Because Golden State, after Baron Davis and Monte Ellis left and Steven Jackson, after they had that little brief run in the early 2000s, Golden State was garbage. Mm-hmm. They were straight garbage. And Mark Jackson came in there and put a system. He brought a new environment to Golden State. And when he brought that, everybody elevated their level in Golden State. Agreed. And they became, you got to remember, the first year he gave them a winning record. The second year he got them to the playoffs. Yeah. They got into the playoffs, and they were the only team to get a win over the Spurs in the Western Conference that year. The next year, they lost in the first round to the Clippers, and that was the whole year where the racist owner did that whole thing, and they went 7. They went 7, and let me tell you something. It was a bad call because Steph got fouled on a 3-point shot with like 4 seconds left that the refs didn't call. But Mark Jackson made that team, that grittiness, that toughness that they got. He made it. Freaking Steve Kerr inherited a fortune. Yes. The only thing he had to do was not fuck up. You know what I mean? That was it.
That's all he had to do. But I'm not even mad at Golden State. You know who I'm mad at? Even more than Golden State?
Who's that?
I'm mad at the NBA. Because there's no way that you look across the NBA landscape and Mark Jackson should not be a head coach.
You got a point. My goodness, you speaking the truth.
And this is why the Knicks will always be bums. This is why they'll be bums. Like, I don't understand. How is he not in the Knicks organization getting that team back? Like I said, like Chris said, from obscurity to prominence. Like, why wouldn't he be in your front office? Then you're going to go get.
Exactly.
But,
and it's a hometown pick.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to knock Derek Fisher. Like, Derek Fisher did what he had to do. He took Matt Barnes' wife, basketball wives, all that. You know what I'm saying? I know Matt Barnes kind of salty about that right now. But,
and he had a service suspension. But anyway.
But you lost. So, I mean, it's the hometown guy. He's a Knicks legend. He is a point guard. So the one position that the Knicks need right now is point guard. And who better to train a point guard than a point guard? I mean, you can't say that his proof ain't in the pudding because look at what Steph Curry is now.
Exactly.
I mean, listen, I always thought that Steph Curry was going to be a good shooter, but I think that Mark Jackson kind of he gave him that yes. You know what I mean? That whatever, you can't even put it into words of what he gave, Steph, but he definitely gave it to him and made Steph, a next level player. That's why when they won last year, I was happy to see, Draymond go over to him and, give him a hug and just tell him, respect how much he meant.
That was respect.
How much he meant to him, you know what I mean? It's unfortunate that he's not a head coach somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
So hopefully the NBA gets that right at some point because there are a lot of teams that could really use him. But I think it could happen soon. Mm-hmm. So I want to get to this point that we was talking about because your boy Rich London, he always be talking. I know he's the ultimate Michael Jordan dude. First of all, I don't even want to call him that no more because he's definitely a LeBron dude. Okay. I keep telling him he can't keep riding that too long because his hairline going to get bad. So
and then he go
gotta
boy.
Watch that. You know what I'm saying? But this is my thing, man. We're looking at right now, the way the game is played right now, you're doing comparisons. Golden State Warriors 72-10 Bulls, right? Mm-hmm. Now, of course, with Jordan and Pippen, listen, that hands down they have the advantage in that area. But this is my thing and why I said that the Warriors would possibly beat them. The Warriors are comprised of a team of all shooters.
Yep.
And a team that is multi-positional. Mm-hmm. Meaning, you got Draymond Green, right? Bringing the ball up, point forward, can start the offense. So he does what Pippen does, right?
Yep.
You don't have anybody like Jordan, so that's a wash. But when you go Curry, Clay, Iguodala, you go to the bench and you talk about Sean Livingston, you talk about Barbosa, you even look at Festus Ezeli and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How can their bigs even stay? You talking about? You think Cartwright staying on the floor?
Well, we going
staying on the floor.
We going
Rodman?
72 Bulls, right? We going 72 and 10. So we going Luke Longley. We going Dennis Rodman.
Luke Longley, Dennis Rodman. Who else they had?
We going Ron Harper.
Grant was still there, right?
Grant was going. We going Ron Harper,
Tony Kukoc,
Steve Kerr was on that team. Obviously Jordan and Pippen. I feel like I'm missing somebody though.
It was like they had a lot of guys on the bench.
Yeah, I think that's when you're talking about like Judd Bushler, people like that.
He might have been there. Yeah, he might have been there.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So even if you're looking at that, the matchups will still favor the Warriors because the Warriors will be able to spread the entire floor out.
Yeah. Well, basically what you're saying is, to me, the advantage that they have today, they would have it against the Bulls, because I think one of the biggest advantages that the Golden State Warriors have is they can run their offense with everybody on the floor, and they're all interchangeable. You know what I mean? You can run
absolutely.
You can run Draymond Green against the other team's big. Iguodala is big enough, physical enough, fast enough to stick the best player on the other team. Klay Thompson, I mean, I know he real light skinned, but he played good defense, and he's 6'7", can shoot, got a good wingspan.
He's real light skinned, 6'7". He got his girl is crazy. If y'all haven't seen his girl look crazy, and he got a ratchet. So the thing about it is, again, you look at all those positions, again, with the exception of Mike and Scotty, like you're not going to win there. But the scheme that Golden State can actually play on the floor, and then the fact that they have all those interchangeable positions allows them to play a certain brand of defense. I mean, look at it last night. They had a game where they were playing Houston, no Steph.
Yeah, no Steph.
Clay go for 38. He go for 17 in the first quarter.
Yeah, easy 38 too. Easy 38.
Easy 38. And then Draymond gets another easy triple-double.
Mm-hmm.
So there are different things that you have to look at, and I think the biggest thing that would hurt the Bulls in a matchup like that is the way that they played the game back then.
Yes.
Because back then you could be physical.
I was about to say
you could have a big man and do that. Now you can't play that way. So because you can't play that way in the premium on shooting, you're not even going to be able to touch nobody.
No. I had this debate with a lot of people on, on Facebook, and the deciding factor was, are we playing 96 style or are we playing 2015
you know what?
style?
Yes, that definitely has to be the way.
That would have to be it.
Because if you playing a 90s way, they're gonna
Jordan gonna stick you. Jordan gonna stick Steph all day.
Yes, and he's gonna make him uncomfortable. Dennis Rodman. He's gonna make sure whoever's in the paint, they're not gonna be comfortable with it. Luke. Luke Longley. Kukoc, he's out there. So it's a different style. But when you talking about this, when you can't touch Dennis Rodman, he fouls out. Jordan, you get in his head, he foul. So it's a whole different ball game. But if you playing like that physical, I can throw you on the ground and there is no technical. And and it's okay.
Well,
it's a little different.
The only knock that I ever have against Golden State is they're not physical at all. And when they go against real physical teams, which I think they lost a key part in that last year, and I'm about to touch on it. When they go against physical teams, they start to have a bit of an issue. Like when they were going against the Memphis Grizzlies last year, and the Grizzlies jumped out to that 2-0 lead on them. The Grizzlies were being physical. Now Kerr was able to go to the bench and bring out David Lee, who's a physical, put his butt into you and get some points. He was able to counteract some of that. They don't got that anymore. And even though I do think Draymond is physical, I don't think he's to the level of David Lee.
They don't have a bruiser, but I'll go to your point like this, right? I think the best thing about the Bulls in all the championship eras was that every team that they played, they had the ability to adjust, right?
Yeah, true.
So, and especially on championship runs, they got better every year. This is the thing that I think is different with Golden State now than it was last year. Memphis shocked him. But, again, what Memphis, they didn't succeed in doing is, when you punch somebody in the mouth, you can't give them an opportunity to say, whoa.
Yes.
You just punch me in the mouth.
And you got to keep punching.
Right? Yep. You just got to keep punching.
Yep.
They didn't do that. And even now, if you look at the way Steph and that entire team plays now, when teams play physical with them, they have adjusted, and they can play physical too. Houston tried to get physical with them without Curry there last night. And Clay was like, listen, we gonna rock. What you want to do?
True.
You know, it's now they have that chip on their shoulder. They know that they can get it done because nobody expected them to. So even that, I mean, think about it too. Even that 72-10 Bulls team, some of those teams back in the day, if you're talking about a shooter here and there added to the game, they struggle a little bit.
True.
You know, think about when they played back in the day when Penny and them was down there, right? When Shaq and them. When Nick Anderson was on, they struggled because him and Dennis Scott added two shooters to what they already had.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So again, difference in time and scheme and everything like that, but in terms of just how the game would wind up being played, you can't. It's a premium on shooting, man. It's always been like that. Even when Larry Bird and them was out there.
Yep.
If you got somebody that's a knockdown shooter, it changes the complexion of how the game is played.
Mm-hmm.
And Golden State got 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, they do. And I think what puts them over the top is and I think it's the reason why they lost to the Dallas Mavericks without Steph Curry, is Steph Curry is a different kind of shooter. I think he's the type of shooter that we kind of never, cause he's a spot up shooter, he's off the dribble shooter, he's hit from 40 shooter, he's hit from 30 shooter, you know what I mean? He's just, he's one of those, when he's on the court, you gotta stick him differently. You gotta play the whole team differently. I think teams can adjust a little better, not that much better, but a little better to the Golden State Warriors when Steph is not on the floor. When he's on the floor, you just kind of at the mercy of, you just better hope they having a bad night.
Yeah. I agree, man. I think it's going to be hard pressed for anybody to really beat them now. Especially the way the league is now. I think we might be looking at another rematch. I think if Kyrie makes it through this whole stretch healthy, then it's going to be something totally different.
But do you think, and I think we're looking at a rematch too, even though I am interested, or I should say intrigued, to see Golden State versus San Antonio. Do you think though, with more help this year, if it is a rematch, with more help, if LeBron does have Kevin Love and he has Kyrie Irving on the court at the same time, do you think they could pull out the dub? I mean, because the way that they played against the Warriors in the finals last year, it looked like if LeBron just had anybody who wasn't named Dellavedova, that they would have got the dub. You know what I mean? So, but
yeah, I think if you get anybody else in the mix with Bron, the way he played last year, I think it does make it a different series. I'm not going to doubt that. The thing that I say to everybody this year too is, just like the Warriors do, like the Cavs, they got to worry about different teams. I put it to you like this: in the East,
Pistons.
The Bulls are one good Kumbaya song away from them being better than the Cavs.
You think so?
They play a different physical. Man, listen, if Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler get on the same page,
that's what I'm concerned about. The Derrick Rose part.
On the same page. Right? Because physically now, and I've been watching him physically, he's starting to look like he should.
Derrick Rose?
But if they get the mental part together, they're going to give the Cavs fits. And I think the same thing now is going on in San Antonio that Golden State has to worry about. Kawhi Leonard is really believing that, I can be that dude. And even though he didn't do it before, but this dude is really not shying away from any challenge, man. He made some plays that I watched him in the game on Christmas when they played the Rockets. And I'm like, yo, how did he do that? And then he's looking at you with a straight, ill, calm face, like, yeah, I do this. And I got cornrows in this 2016.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Yo, that is so true.
It goes down. So I think there are a lot of teams. The NBA does have some good parity, but I think, listen, man, the Cavs, I don't know, man, because, if you look at them, they can never really have the big three on the court at the same time.
Yeah.
Because teams are exposing Kevin Love.
Yeah, man.
I said this. Yeah. I shout out to my boy Henny Bub. He used to be on the show a few episodes back. He made a bet with me last season who would have the better statistical season, Chris Bosh or Kevin Love. And I said, listen, I said, it's Chris Bosh and it ain't close. Obviously, I won that bet. And I said, what you got to know about Kevin Love, he's a good player. I don't want to take anything away from Kevin Love, but he was a great player on a bad team where they were getting beat a lot and he got a lot of garbage time, junk time stats. And I said, I don't know who he is on a good team when it's on the line and people not letting you get it easy. I don't know who he is. Now, I think he is good. I really do think he's good. He's definitely a solid player. I don't think he's a max contract player. But in today's NBA, you know, the market dictates what you kind of get. So he's going to be a max player in that respect. But I don't think he is as good as a Chris Bosh in that spot. Cause I said, listen, Chris Bosh was on a bad team in Toronto. He brought them to the playoffs. Minnesota never went to the playoffs. He was that dude. He was that dude.
Yeah. Like, I totally agree with you. I'll put it to you like this. And this is the biggest thing we all know because we all play sports, man. When you have that confidence and your team has that confidence in you, you are a different animal, right?
No doubt.
So the message is clear. I mean, I watched it and I've seen it. The Cavs clearly don't believe in you because when it's crunch time, they don't put you on the floor.
Yeah. You're right.
That has to eat at you, and that's why I think even with Kyrie, you still may have to give the edge to Golden State because they don't care who they put on the floor in those crunch moments. And now that those dudes have succeeded in those, like, yo, you can't tell Festus Ezeli that he ain't nice.
Nah, you can't. You can't.
You really can't.
He gonna take some shots like he nice as fuck too. He gonna take some shots
he gonna take some shots.
Like he's silky smooth with it too. You gonna be like, Festus, why you taking that shot?
You know what I'm saying? He gonna give you he like, no, my friend, I take the shots. I am from the moon. He's gonna give you that, but at the same time, you pull up his stats on NBA 2K16, it doesn't compute. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's why I say the Cavs can struggle. That's why I say the Bulls have the opportunity to do that because Derrick Rose still, regardless of if he, missed the glass from Unbreakable, he still thinks that he's one of the best guards. He still thinks that he's one of the best guards in the league. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Butler has now got the confidence like, yo, this might actually be my team.
And Jimmy Butler's like, you stall. Here you go. Go ahead. Finish that, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. He could just be like, yo, no matter what my haircut look like right now, it might be like you see Derrick Rose cut his joint off. He's like, yo, they kind of mistaking me for Jimmy right now.
You stupid.
I mean, stupid.
But they know it's me.
Let me ask you a question since you was talking about the Bulls. I think personally, it's clear cut that Jimmy Butler is the best player on the Bulls.
Yeah, hands down.
Do you think it's still? Do you think it's still a debate?
I don't think it's a debate anymore because I think the thing that's happened is everybody that used to believe in Derrick only talk about Jimmy now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Joakim don't even ride for Derrick like he used to.
Yep.
And Joakim was doing the T.O. crying at the press conference
with
Tony Romo before.
That's my quarterback.
So now he don't do that no more, so it's different. But I say this, and I think this will consistently be the edge that the Bulls will have. And I get that Mozgov showed his butt last year in the playoffs, but son, Hal Gasol in the Eastern Conference is a difference maker.
Yes, he is.
And right now, he's almost getting a double-double right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
you bring up a good point.
Team. They won good stretch before the All-Star game to say, okay, we can beat them.
But you know what he does very well, and this don't show up on stats and people don't talk about it unless you like really watching it. He gets fouled one and he make his free throws.
Mm-hmm.
That's the side effect because if you fouling a big man, okay, I can foul you, but when I put you on that line, how are you going to be able to keep us in the game? And that's what kills teams down the stretch. Exactly.
Hey, yo, listen, and I know nobody wants to talk about this, and I know when Rich London listens to this podcast, he's probably going to be on my phone.
I can't wait.
But Son, when are we going to start questioning Bron's clutch again, man? I mean, you on Christmas Day in Golden State, and you go 4 for 9 from the free throw line?
He missed some big ones.
Didn't you say you was the best player in the world last year? Like, what's that about? And my thing about it is this. If you mean to tell me that they can start to go down the line and like they do a hack of DeAndre, a hack of Dwight, and they can consider doing a hack of Bron, man, what's going on with your team, son?
But you know what?
Because the only solid free throw shooter on their team is Kyrie.
Yeah. JR, for some reason, is not a good free throw shooter.
If you look at the numbers, it's Kyrie, Kevin Love. Everybody else that plays, listen, they're going to put JR on the line. They're going to put Bron on the line. They're going to definitely put Mozgov on the line. They're going to put Tristan Thompson on the line. Yep. They're going to put Dellavedova on the line. Hey, man, something got to shake out.
You make a good point. You know
what I'm saying? So it's real right now. And again, the thing that separates Golden State from everybody else is the easy things that they do really well.
Yeah.
They shoot free throws really well. Yep. They are a good rebounding team.
Very good.
They pass the ball really well. They're like number 1 or 2 in the league in assists per game.
Only team that passed the ball better than Golden State is the Spurs. That's the only team that passed it better. You know what I mean? And it's comparable. Somebody could call it a draw. I won't argue. I wouldn't argue.
You're right.
But since you bringing up them, you know what? I got another question. And I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my love for them that I still got. But quietly, the Miami Heat is number 3 in the East right now.
Mm-hmm. Yo, talk about it.
You know, if we get a little bit, because I still think there needs to be some growing in Hassan Whiteside, and I still think the development of all of those guys playing together, because they haven't all played together for that long. Chris Bosh was out last year. D Wade was in and out of being hurt. Obviously, my boy Winslow, from Duke, Winslow, is a rookie. With some more gelling, some more time. I mean, because Golden State and San Antonio got these outrageously good records, you know, you look at other good records and you don't like pay attention, but they like 18-12. They got the 3rd best record in the East.
Okay, so since you said it, let me go ahead and agree with you, brother. Let me tell you this. The Miami Heat, people better be scared, man.
Yeah.
You better be scared, because not only do you have 2 players that are going to go in the Hall of Fame that have been to championship levels and won and done big things. Yep. They have young, raw talent around them that have no idea what the NBA is like and are playing their butts off. Right?
Yep, I agree.
They have the ability to match up with these other teams. And the thing about it is, quiet is kept with the Miami Heat. Goran Dragic is one of the best guards in the East.
Yes, he is. Goran Dragic is one of the best.
He's not going to back down from Kyrie. He's not going to do it. So again, you look at it. I think the other thing too, and if we're talking about second tier teams, I think the other thing that people in the East got to be aware of too is you got to look at the Pacers too, man. I don't know if y'all realize this.
Paul George.
Whatever bionics that Paul George got in his leg right now, Paul George is on another planet right now. Yo. And the thing that's crazy with him is he don't even care. The fact that he's not even thinking and he's just playing is trouble. Because he's looking like he did when they played Miami.
You're right. Paul George looks good. Paul George looks really good.
You know? I think the other 2 teams that you got to consider, if Milwaukee gets it together, look how long and deep they are. Another team that I like that nobody talks about, the Pistons are probably.
Drummonds?
Didn't I say that before y'all even started? I said, Detroit look like they look serious. They look serious, man.
First of all, Andre Drummond got that I'm a black bear patch growing on his back and his chest. Mm-hmm. He's a monster on them boards.
CT stand up, baby. CT stand up, man.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? Drummond, listen.
Let me tell you, ever since Drummond stopped fucking that chick from iCarly, he been all money, son. He been all money. I'm telling you, after he started fucking the other chick from iCarly, said he was just like a beast mode after they broke up. I said, boy, that boy playing like his heart broken. That's what I'm talking about.
Yo, let me find out. He playing like he got a straight Neo soundtrack every day before he gets the game. He's just mad at the world with a Neo soundtrack.
For real, yo.
Man, listen, it's some serious teams out there. But my question for y'all, man, because I think we need some real comic relief in this part of the NBA. Can we talk about Dwight Howard for a second, man?
Oh my!
Can we talk about?
Do we have to?
Superman. Listen, man.
If you want to, go ahead. You can. My mic will be on mute. Go ahead, man.
Listen, I just want to see like what everybody thinks, man, because yo, this dude. You first of all, you demanding the trade, man.
Yes.
You demanding the trade. Now you mad at James Harden because you know his mohawk look better than you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like because Adidas gave him more money than you.
James Harden's a better player.
You not that good no more, money.
No.
What are you talking about?
You know
man?
where you know where he fucked up was when he thought he could come to the West and dominate. That's what happened. You know, when he went to the West and, you know, he was in Orlando, and like I said, the East was soft. You know what I mean? Especially at that time.
Big fish, small pond.
Yeah, it was really, 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 you know, soft. And he got him to the championship. So he figured, you know what? I could do this. If I could do this against them, then imagine if I was on a team like that. And then what happened? He went to Lakers. Kobe ran him out. Then he went to Houston. He ain't doing nothing. He's a bum. He's done. He's washed. And he's slow. Okay, like he's one of them 90s big guys where he need to stay in the paint, and if you come in the paint, he gonna stop. But when you running that West offense, it is